This is a website that I'm developing for La Follette High School's 50th year anniversary celebration. And it is going to be a WordPress site. And I have just a basic installation with the 2011 theme attached to it. The files are live. I have some server space at GoDaddy and my domain name pennyaguileradesign.com, and the installation lives in a subdirectory called Lancer. I'm choosing to develop and edit the style sheets and make the changes right on the server, as opposed to having a duplicate copy locally on MAMP. For this particular situation, it's just going to make more sense. I'm going to need a lot of pages, a lot of data, and I want the style sheet and the changes to kind of go hand in hand with the development of the database. A lot of designers never use MAMP. They never work locally. So this movie is all about developing a good workflow between the files on your server and being able to edit them locally. So you don't need to go and log into GoDaddy or One-in-One, Ready Hosting, wherever your files live. You simply need to know your domain name and possibly the subdirectory that your WordPress installation resides in. You need two tools in order to develop this workflow. I'm going to be using Phrase, which is the text editing program we use at Madison College, but really any text editing program could work. TextEdit, Notepad on the PC, even Microsoft Word, just something that's very basic, that's not going to introduce a lot of rich text formatting. So I have Phrase and that's ready to go. The other big piece of the puzzle is an FTP program. I'm using Fetch, again, because that's what we have at school, but Qt FTP if you're on a PC, CyberDuck, any basic FTP program will work. You simply need access to those files. Now I'm skipping a few steps. I'm assuming that you know how to FTP into your GoDaddy account. I've made a little shortcut here just to save some time. But my host name is pennyaguileradesign.com, which is my URL. And my username and my password, those are things that I set up previously with GoDaddy to allow me to FTP. This is not my username and password to get into WordPress. So as you've already discovered, many passwords, many chances for errors. But this is my FTP combination. I'm going to go ahead and connect, log in. This is everything that I have in the pennyaguileradesign.com host directory. And I specifically want to get into Lancer. This is where my WordPress installation is. A lot of files in here, and we need to be even more specific. So WP content, themes. I am not working with a child theme for this particular movie. So I'm going right into the 2011 folder. And I need to find the file called style.css. That's where the bulk of my design decisions are going to happen. Copy that out on the desktop, and I'm ready to go. I now will go back over to Phrase and open, find, here's style.css that I just dropped off onto the desktop, and I will open that up. Now, as we mentioned in class, this is a really hefty document. There are, over 1,000 lines of code, so finding just the right style that you want to change can be a little bit daunting. Back over in Firefox, where I am still previewing, I can use Firebug to help me out a bit. One of the things that I want to change is I'm going to drop some new colors in here, some new backgrounds. The background, for example, I don't want it to be gray at all. I've actually developed a pattern, a series of stripes that I would like to drop in there. So here is the body rule, but if I wasn't really sure, I can choose the icon, click an element, can kind of investigate, hone in on particular items. And then I can use this sort of trail of breadcrumbs to go from very specific out to something that's more general. And eventually, if I have a little more room here, I would get to my body rule. I can experiment here. I can put different colors in place just to make sure that I've targeted the right rule. Let me just throw in another color. I'll go just randomly choose something. Okay, so that is the rule that I need. This is temporary. Can make some changes and experiment, but I really need to make these changes stick in the style sheet itself. So the good thing about Firefox and Firebug is it's telling me that this body rule that I've now identified and I need to change lives on line 322 of my style file. So I'm going to come in to phrase, find line 322. Wow, there really are a lot of styles going on in here. Okay, so here it is. Here's my body rule. And I will type in background hyphen image URL, URL, and I have named that graphic stripes.gif. Oh, I have some typos in here. Okay, background image URL stripes.gif, semicolon. It has the appropriate bracketing, so I will save that. Now I'm going to come back over to Fetch. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, developing a workflow. Where are you going to put your windows so you have easy drag and drop access? So here's the style file on my desktop. I edited the file in Phrase. I saved it. It's kind of confirming, yes, it's 933. It's 933. This is a recent edited file. I can drag this back into Fetch to upload it. And I can come back here and refresh, and oh, well, nothing happened. The reason nothing happened is that I've asked for a graphic to appear on my page. The graphics are going to live in your images folder. So when I peek into the images folder, well, I don't have anything in there called stripes. And I also didn't tell my style sheet to target the images folder to find stripes. So I have to do a little more uploading and hunting and pecking. So there's lots of back and forth between you on your desktop and the files that you need to upload. Okay, so here is stripes.gif. I will upload that into images. Okay, I will now go back to Phrase and indicate that not only do I want stripes.gif, but I need to go into a specific directory to find that. So I've made a change in the style sheet, saving the style sheet. I will come back over to Fetch. I will find on my desktop that particular file, style.css, drag it back into Fetch to re-upload it, come back over to my browser, refresh, and there are my stripes. So I'm not going to lie to you. This is kind of a prickly little process that you just have to adapt to. You are finding what you need to change. Let's just do one more thing quickly to show you that you will get into the habit eventually. Maybe there's a change in color, just to do something quickly to this headline. I'm identifying, trying to find that rule. And then I'm always sort of, playing around over here just to make sure that, yes, this is the rule that I want. So on line 514 in my style sheet, that's where this particular item lives. So back to my style sheet, back over to Phrase. on line 514. And I am, again, just going to throw in a made-up color. So I've saved that. Make some other changes too. Make my font weight normal. Maybe I'll beef up the size of the font considerably, just so we can see some changes have been made. Okay. Style sheet has been edited. I save that. I come back out to my FTP program, find the file that I've just edited, style.css, drag it in, come back to my browser preview, reload the page. Wow, well, obviously some issues, but I did achieve what I wanted. I identified the style that I needed to change. I made some changes and edited the style sheet, reloaded. Everything isn't exactly perfect, but at least I've made some changes. So it's this back and forth, back and forth. You will get into the habit eventually. It will become a little more routine, but again, being totally forthright and upfront, it is going to take some adjustment. So that is a basic workflow that you will perhaps want to employ.